really, but I think this match is going to be a typical Brig Juno mirror.
Yeah, probably. Especially as we're seeing now going into Numbani appears to be the first map for that hybrid. So, obviously going to try to take the high ground, make use of those new changes made to Numbani, increase on the high ground. Stairs made a little bit wider, easier to take that high ground for the attackers, easier for the defenders to hold it a little bit. And we'll have to see what comp they come rolling out.
Yeah, Numbani gives a lot more leeway to different playstyles in that Orisa due to the vast amount of high grounds, especially on second point. I think there's a good chance we could see more dive tanks like a Ball, Winston, or probably Diva, given Diva's sort of always consistent no matter what comp you play. What I'm interested in is this going to be a hit scan battle between Widows, potentially?
Not too sure if the Widows are going to come out. I do know Blue Pig likes to play his cast. Blue Pig really confident on that hit scan for the side of UCF. I'm not sure anything about Puerto Rico's players, but I do know Blue Pig, typically a hit scan Ashe cast player. Don't seem to see the Widow come out too much, but maybe try to find an early pick. They do have the adjusted closer spawn on that attack, so could allow for a quicker Widow try to pick and then swap off after without having to make the run all the way back.
Yeah, the real thing I want to see from this is how our teams play around this new Numbani sort of, especially first point, making the attackers have a lot more leeway to rotate. It could be really interesting how both teams jockey for positioning and trying to get that high ground advantage.
For sure. And yeah, see what kind of comp they run. I would like to see Ball. I feel like he's quite a bit stronger with the buffs made to his kit. But probably gonna be pretty standard coming if I'd had to guess. I know Percy likes to play a lot of dive tanks in general, so might not be too surprised if you see the Diva come out. You see the potentially Ball, but I'm if I have to gamble, I'm going with probably a Diva pick to start it off.
Yeah, the Ball could be a little risky of a play. He gets countered by that Brig using Whip Shot and Shield Bash, and it's hard to get value unless you're super coordinated. And sometimes in the middle of fights, it's just not very possible to follow up on a pile driver or displacement on a tank. I would love to see Ball. I'm a personal Ball enjoyer, but it's looking unlikely, especially with Orisa still being as strong as she is.
Yeah, and especially these teams do have that coordination. These teams have already been played 5 series of matches. These teammates have played with each other before, previous semesters, previous years. So they have some synergy with each other already. I know Percy's been on UCF teams for several semesters now. Blue Pig, a new addition to the team this semester. Maj been playing some, I think, as a sub, but gonna find himself in an actual match today. So definitely rooting for all of them. All the names we see right now, familiar names.
Yeah, I really hope this match is close. I would love to see these two teams brawl it out and we get some really good Overwatch. Some those matches that go 3-0, although it's really good for your team, I think from a learning perspective, having those really close matches where you feel like you are having to play well to make that difference is very important.
Yeah. But we'll see. Hopefully start to get into the match pretty soon here. As we're still waiting on the teams to get the match started.
It
starts at 9 o'clock, so running a little bit late on schedule, but should be getting started here pretty soon. Have all the spectators ready. All the teams appear to be ready, so should not be too long.
Yeah, really testing our stalling abilities. But I think that
electric shock or anything like that?
we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna see some standard Overwatch, Brig Juno, Orisa, maybe Diva, and I think a key matchup is definitely gonna be the hit scan, especially if we are going into Numbani because of this wide sight lines. And if you're not feeling it, I think
I like it. I like it a lot.
It could cost your team big time unless you're hitting those crucial shots.
Yeah, no, definitely. I believe last week or the last match UCF had, I believe that we did win 3-0 against the FL Poly Phoenixes. So hopefully get able to ride that high. Actually, I believe we're on a 2-game win streak right now. So hopefully take that to 3.
Yeah, that I think UCF is getting hot at the right time. This is round 6. It's only going to get harder from here. So getting hot right now is a good thing to do.
Yeah, UCF a nice academy in the bracket right now. Our 3rd place, if they win this, could take them to potentially 2nd, but at the very least would hold that 3rd place position, which definitely want to be in the top 4 of the head-to-head. No forfeits made, so hopefully able to take UPRM Green down.
Yeah, I think we're looking to get ready in this lobby. I don't know if I misread chat, but we, technical difficulties happen. And so I think talking about how UCF is warming up, I think University of Puerto Rico, I think they could pose a really big challenge for us, especially given that they are not winless and have proven to be a threat. And so I hope that we're able to see some good fashion Overwatch.
Yeah, not winless for sure. They have taken several maps away from other teams throughout the rounds in their division. So you can't underestimate them. You don't know quite what's going to happen. You don't know quite what kind of comp they're going to use. They might change it up, especially after the changes. So you have to be wary of that. I believe Puerto Rico did beat a team that UCF did struggle with as well. So not something you can be too confident going into. You have to be careful.
I do want to think about one thing. Given that Nimbani had the recent changes, do you think there's a likelihood we could see maybe UCF or University of Puerto Rico go a little bit of an oddball comp, maybe run the Rhine and just beeline it up the stairs with a Lucio Bath Rush?
I don't think. I think it's maybe possible that someone does something funny on the first push just to see how it works, see how they respond to it. But I don't think it's going to be something that we're going to see super consistently happen. Just because this is a tournament, the teams want to win. They're going to go with the meta for the most part, unless they feel that they cannot win the mirror matchup. If they need to try to switch it up, they're usually typically stick to the meta, and you see really similar comps coming in. The usually biggest difference you'll see between these teams when they're in a match is one or two of the DPS might be different, but you'll generally see that the same tank, same support matchups, and the DPS might kind of switch to what people are most comfortable on.
Wait, just coming in. We are not going to Nimbani. Me and Sky have been lying on main. It looks like we're heading into Lucio territory on Ilios well. Or at least I hope there's a Lucio on Ilios.
Yeah, hopefully we do get to see that well point. Well point always one of the most high action maps. The favor can switch towards either team with one pull, with one knock into the well. Most volatile is the word I was looking for. Most volatile point of Ilios is definitely that well point.
Yeah, and I think going into Ilios, I think we're going to see a lot more of that dive variation. Outside of Ruins, Well, and Lighthouse allows that Winston Diva to take advantage of those high grounds that Orisa will struggle to maintain, especially when you have it paired with a Tracer or an Ash Core. Just holding that Orisa on low ground on Lighthouse or Well is just not as viable of a strategy.
Yeah. So, especially for the Well point, probably going to see some Ursas, some Divas on that point, I would think. And which seems like they do have that map confirmed to be Control, because the teams were doing their bans. So, gonna have some ban maps in this tournament are going to be map bans. Probably result in a little bit more of a longer break in between maps as teams figure out those bans.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot more decision making in the bans, especially with those Havana Circuit, Numbani, and for the life of me, I can't remember. Dorado.
Yeah,
Dorado
Dorado.
reworks. Dorado, especially, a very vital shift map that a lot of teams use to get the advantage with the long sight lines of a Widowmaker or an Ashe. And being able to correctly identify if that is still viable as a way to swing momentum back in your favor on Dorado especially is going to be a really big sign to see how well the coaching and the planning for these players in the UCF and University of Puerto Rico are. But we are finally done stalling and we are heading into map 1. Are you ready, Sky?
I am ready. And the first point we are going to be, what is it going to be? Please reveal it to us.
Well.
So now we're going to see what kind of comp. I think this point is one of the points for Ilios where you do see comps switch up a little bit because there's different ways you can play this map. You can play more comp to try to get people in the hole. You can play comp to more to try to get out of the hole, try to avoid it completely. So there's different kind of ways you can play this map. But it seems like they're going to be going for a comp that I wouldn't have guessed, Junker Queen comp.
I think they're expecting a Winston to be played here. Winston is a very common pick on Well, but we see Motley Main hovering the Roadhog. Are we looking for some early hooks potentially? I don't trust it, but this will be very interesting. I think Queen versus Hog is a matchup I would favor the Queen in, but being able to get that quick and cheesy hook on a backliner or the JQ is really detrimental for UCF. Let's see how they approach this.
Yeah. So Pug's using the Symmetra to try to get his team to point quicker. Genji now, Pug's going to be on. Gonna keep their distance, kind of just chipping away, getting a feel, finding out what the other team's comp's looking like. Nobody gonna make too much of an aggressive move. That threat from the Hog gonna be so important to be aware of.
Yeah, I think they don't want to take this really fast. I think they want to play to poke out this Roadhog, force him to use that hook or take a breather, and then they're going to run on him. And we see them, we're going right side. We see Percy pushing in. Oh, no, he backs off now. And
yeah, and
it's kind of a stalemate.
Pudi Puerco on the reworked Sombra now. A little bit interesting. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to plan that for. Maybe expecting a Lucio to try to limit his movement. But Blue Pig with the first pick onto Motley Main. And with that, the tank down should be a pretty clean take now for our UCF.
Yeah, now Mod just pushing this advantage, trying to get any exit kills. Doesn't look like he can, but I think the problem with the Hog, and we see Diva, but for Hog, you're such a big target that when Blue Pig locks onto you, you pretty much get deleted without constant heals. But now we're in the Diva, which takes a lot more space than that Junker Queen. I'm interested to see how Percy will play into this.
Yeah, Diva really going to try to kind of bug that back line a little bit. Gonna be the wary of Blue Pig though. Blue Pig, as I said, like pretty good at the cast, known for his Cassidy plays.
I think they're setting up a dive right now. They're trying to go on Majd and Pug, but it seems like the dive's just backing off, and Motley Main loses mech, and Pudi Perico loses his life. This is gonna be a reset coming in from University of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, complete reset with Maj winning the 1v1 against Sightlines. But yeah, and I off the cast, the Sombra are just not really doing too much there. So gonna switch to the cast for more sustainable damage, more control over that Genji dive, but Genji does have his blade already. A huge, with those switches, huge ultimate advantage for the side of UCF over Puerto Rico right now.
Yeah, but the thing I want to point out is that Sightlines has that Juno ult. If they're able to play this properly and kite the blade from Pug in High Noon, I think that's very likely that they win the Juno ult fight, given that Maj is only at 60%.
Yeah, and another switch, though, from the DPS players of Puerto Rico. Gonna lose all that ult charge they had. And Blue Pig just going in the backline now with Pudi Puerco down again. Gonna have to fall back again for Puerto Rico. Not able to take, like, control yet. Diva just gonna reset. Yeah, Pug is able to take the off angles that are able to enable Blue Pig to finish up on all of the damage they're doing. Yeah, but Pug goes down, so University of Puerto Rico has a chance to push up and take these off angles that UCF has been so well denying. They do. But then now again, switching the tank to Orisa. Like, I don't know if they built up a single ultless game except for that orbital ray.
And it's just a firing range for Blue Pig. just hitting their shots when they need to, not able to give University of Puerto Rico any breathing room. And this is a round 100-0 for UCF Academy.
Yeah, definitely interesting to Puerto Rico, the amount of changes to the comp they made. As I said previously, the only ult they were able to build up that round being the Juno ultimate. No other ults, I don't think, were ever able to be built up. And that does make it a bit of an issue for your team when you can't get those up. When you have both teams so skilled, you kind of need to rely on those big plays, those big ultimates, even if it just secures one kill. If you're constantly swapping and not able to build that up, it's going to make it a lot harder for you to make a presence on the battlefield.
Yeah, now we're going into Lighthouse, and we see UCF hovering over the dive with the Echo Ash. So we're going with a really spammy poke comp, but we see a rush comp coming out from University of Puerto Rico. We have the Bastion, May, Ram, Bap, Lucio. Talk about unconventional.
Yeah, I do think that the Ram could be pretty good, though, into the Brig, into the Winston, kind of causing them to play a little bit farther back. But we'll see. They're going to take point and just play the point now for that extra cover against the dive, which I do think is a smart play, not playing out in the open for the dive can get you.
This is a really bad spot for UCF to be in right now. You can't let this rush comp take point, but a huge ante from Maj, but they're not even fun up, and Pug goes down to Mega, not being able to contest point against this much damage coming up from University of Puerto Rico. How do you engage this as UCF? I think a comp change might have to come through. I don't think Winston does enough damage to really push anybody out of position here.
Yeah, when you have that Lucio sustained heal, when you have the kind of burst healing of Baptiste, it's going to be really hard for it to be more than really free ult charge for the sports on their team.
But I see Silence camera simulator right now, and Percy just gets burnt down. The wall and the form both used to secure the kill on the tank, and UCF just not able to get in right now. It's going from bad to worse. We're getting ults online for University of Puerto Rico coming up next
Percy
fight.
going ball.
Ball game.
Which is a little bit interesting too. You're playing the ball into the May, which really, if May able to lock her endothermic blaster on you, makes it really, really hard.
Oh, he's gonna boop on the Bastion! What an amazing boop from Percy. That's basically opening the point up, and we see Pug pushing in. May block forced. I'm sorry. And UCF is just gonna clean this fight up. There's no damage, there's no pressure, and no sustain with Mega falling. And another boop. Oh my gosh!
Percy working these sight lines to his advantage. The close walls on point, working them perfectly right now. And I might have to try to steal some of this guy's ball tech because he is going in and out superbly.
Making University of Puerto Rico look like bowling pins right now. We don't see any counter swamps going in from University of Puerto Rico. We're gonna see the Blizzard and Beat window. I'm interested to see if they're able to catch Percy off guard potentially. The Duke Bastion goes off, but instantly dead. Can't face
trap there. Able to get out with her life thanks to the help. But as Beat goes down, kind of a reset here now on the fight. Bastion coming down, finds Maj on the Ana. So hard to get away on the Ana. No abilities from your teammates to protect you.
Yeah, old grandma legs can't outrun the nukes from Bastion. And Yoji also falls. And now University of Puerto Rico is back on point. Does Percy get another kill? No, he does not. He gets...
Yeah, Percy's just going to stall for a little bit. Try to get what little percentage he can. But now going to be a hard retake. Bastion able to work with that Baptiste wall. May with her ult for zoning, and Ram coming up on that annihilation will be a little bit harder, but you do have the nano to work with. You have the Bob to work with to try to take some space. But 85% in ticking now.
I'm interested to see what the nano target is. I think it's Maj. Yeah, no, it's Pug actually. Pug is nanoed, but Blue Pig goes down immediately, and Maj is being forced out of LOS. Yoji uses that rally into the window. Is he able to sustain throughout this fight? Big anti coming from Maj, but Yoji goes down to the Rancher form, and Percy gets another kill on the May using the environmental kill again. Are they able to sustain throughout this window? It's a 3v4. University of Puerto Rico has advantage, but I don't know if they are able to kill the ball. And another huge nade comes out from Maj, and Bob on point. Is there a way University of Puerto Rico can win this fight? I don't think so. Fuck. It's falling apart.
Yeah, UCF retaining control. Use a couple ults there. Both support ults gone out, and Blue Pig's Bob. But still with that duplication to work with, we'll be able to hopefully build up an ult of their choice regarding the situation. Percy now with mines up almost again. Percy, mines gonna online for a lot of zoning. No comp switches from the side of Puerto Rico. Bastion ult built up again. Beat gonna be available if they're able to build it up for that entry, which is probably what we're gonna try to do. Bait up a little bit of healing to get that beat available.
Yeah, the mines from Percy have to go big here. Mines on point and almost Ajax's, but no, Sightline gets the beat off. Will University of Puerto Rico be able to cap this point? It's not looking like it as Sightlines goes down to Percy. They're not able to shut down Percy on this ball. The May just is not enough of disruption. And University of Puerto Rico has about 10% to touch, or else the first map goes to UCF.
Yeah, it won't. They definitely will not be able to touch here. THJK trying to switch to the Tracer to try to touch. Well, actually, Motley Main switches to the ball now. Will be able to get on point. But both supports down for Puerto Rico, and now this is basically an over fight.
Yeah, Maj on the Ana is just getting away with murder right now. These anti-nades from Maj are just insane. UCF is just cleaning up the fight. It's just ball on point and falls down. We see GHF try to touch and stall, but yeah, too little, too late. UCF takes round 1 and round 2 and map 2, and a very close round though.
Yeah, they take the second point on that first map now. 1-0. Remember, now this is a best of 5 series. They will need to take 3, and let's see this play of the game with Mercy on the wrecking ball.
Yeah, Percy able to make so much space using those rolls and pile drivers, able to disrupt the core of this rush comp. I really able to separate the Baptiste from the Ram May Lucio. Lucio, although he's amazing at the rotation, he just does not have the heals and sustain like Immofield or the 18 health bars Baptiste has to survive that. And being able to separate that core and pick them off one by one, along with these excellent nades by Maj, it's just too much to deal with.
And that's where you see where the 20 extra ammo on those quad cannons that ball has coming into handy. They're not having to reload quite as much, able to sustain significantly more damage output for a longer amount of time. Does really help. And now Hybrid or Escort being the map choices that we're going into, where maybe we do see Havana come back.
I think if University of Puerto Rico wants to play this rush style, they need to go a very short sightline map. They can't let Maj set up on these high grounds and angles, because once Maj is up there, them and Yoji just are able to basically AFK and farm like a million healing, nano boost whoever they want, and just the disruption from Percy. They have to pick a map where they can just get to Maj.
Yeah, so maybe you see a King's Row or something come out, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm interested to see if they maybe want to do more of a sniper map, more of a circuit or a Junker Town, to see if they can just take the head off and clean off a Maj. Because, if your Ana's dead, your backline isn't getting antied, and Percy has a much harder time on the ball. But that being said, we don't know what other tricks UCF has up their sleeves right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. But we will just see what kind of map they're picking after a couple of comps tried now. From both sides, both finding some success, both finding some struggle. And we'll have to see what they go with. Like, you saw a lot of switches being made that first map, kind of people getting the groove of things, feeling the other team out a little bit, trying to figure out their play style. So you saw a lot of changes there. I reckon this map, we will see a lot less of that and kind of find out what people are comfortable playing into each other now. That first map kind of being an experimental round.
Yeah, and I think one thing that University of Puerto Rico is doing really well is just being able to take these initiatives and to just go in as a team. We saw in the first part of the second round where they just held down point in UCF on that Winston comp, but just not able to break through. So I want to see more initiative from University of Puerto Rico, because it has worked before. And if they're able to catch UCF off guard, I think they have a good chance of taking map 2.
I'm going to take back what I said, because it appears we have 2 subs from Puerto Rico replacing 2 of their teammates right now. So maybe people are more confident in a different kind of comp, maybe more comfortable in a dive play style, more comfortable in a poke play style. So we'll see what those switches do for University of Puerto Rico as they make 2 team switches.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing their tracer player, their May player getting subbed out. So I think we're definitely going to a more sniper poke favored map, probably that circuit or the Junkertown. I'm interested to see if Pug is going to stay in. We all know that Blue Pig is the hit scan player, but I want to see if they decide to keep Pug in or they want to sub him out.
Yeah, don't think we're probably going to be seeing any subs from the side of UCF. I don't think we have any subs in the lobby right now. I believe that is the coach / manager. So probably going to be sticking with the same people that we have currently for the side of UCF, but it does seem that Puerto Rico brought a couple of subs to be able to mess it up with, and going to be locking in hybrid for the map type.
I mean, seeing a coach playing in a tournament is not unheard of. You know, OWCS coaches and managers play all the time for some good reasons, some bad reasons. Though I do agree that the subs from UCF probably not going to come through. They want to keep these 5 and keep the momentum going and try to sweep map 2 and go for a 2-0 advantage. While University of Puerto Rico is going to try to catch UCF off guard, probably playing that poke comp, and it's just going to be a battle of who's feeling better that day. If Blue Pig is able to take advantage of whatever hit scan they're on compared to Zappercoot or Mega, it's going to go either way, in my opinion.
It definitely could go either way, and since they did lock in that hybrid map, a couple maps options that they have to choose from, they could do, like I said, potentially King's Row, or we might see an Eichenwald come out maybe, if they're going for like some of those angles. That second point on Eichenwald can be just so hard to get through, especially with people that are great at poking from long range.
I do want to point out that UCF has banned Midtown. I think Midtown is a very hard map to play into, no matter if you're up in the match or down in the match. It's such a divisive map, so I think UCF is playing it safe by manning the Midtown.
Yeah, taking down Midtown definitely helps there. I don't imagine we see Blizzard World come out. If I had to guess, I think that it would be between Eichenwald, Hollywood, or Kings Row.
I think you are right, because we are about to get so chivalrous right now. With as much honor as you can, we're going to Kings Row. Will we see a Reinhardt coming out of Puerto Rico?
I don't know if that's as chivalrous as Eichenwald. Reinhardt's kind of more accurate map, but Kings Row kind of notorious for having that Rhine duel down mid.
Look, give me the Rhine. I want to see a Rhine mirror so badly. In a world full of Orissas and Maugas and Ramatras, having that Rhine mirror just draws so much hype for a match. I know the stereotypes for Rhine players are going out right now, but I am festering for that Rhine mirror, and I hope the teams understand what I'm trying to say. I hope they can hear me. Just give me that Rhine mirror. But knowing how the meta is, we're probably going to see that Orisa, probably going to see that Diva.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a Junker Queen come out, maybe, from one of the sides, potentially. Ball, also, I think, a pretty strong choice. If Percy wants to keep rocking with the Ball, we'll see if he continues to do with that, but I definitely think we see Blue Pig try to stake aggression on that Ashe, potentially even a Widowmaker. But I definitely think he's going to be on one of those two. It will depend on whether they're attacking or defending first.
All right, going into Kings Row, we have UCF attacking first, and we're going to see what Puerto Rico is going to decide to defend with. Do you think they're going to go for the hit scan playstyle, or do you think they're just going to hard commit on that rush?
I think they might go with an attack, a kind of a dive comp. I wouldn't be too surprised to see the Ramatra again on the defense. But I definitely think that we will see Blue Pig try to come out here with an early pick on the Widow. And it seems like we are right with that.
Oh, my glorious King Yoji on the Life Weaver. I think that this is not going to stay. I'd be surprised if it does, and I don't think it should. Life Weaver, just not a good character. Yep, there it is, on the Baptiste. On the Brig, actually. I got baited 3 times, but we see Puerto Rico running out on this Orisa rush. We have a Cass Bastion, so it's going to be a lot of long-range pressure. Sorry, mid-range pressure. we just need to see UCF be able to properly rotate the turret forms and just bait out cooldowns like Immo Field and Hindernade to be able to play this sort of dive comp correctly with Blue Pig on the Widow.
I'm going to do a little foreshadowing. I don't imagine he stays on Monkey, and I am right. Widow Price scouted out some of the defense there, and he's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to play Monkey into a Bastion, but Doomfist also an interesting pick when you know they have a Cassidy, so we'll see how he plays that. Really spread out defense here from Puerto Rico.
I want to put an amazing punch by Percy, but Pug goes down instantaneously. Without that Tracer, there's no really staging potential, and Doom cannot really dive this comp alone, so they're going to have to wait a little bit for Pug to get back.
Yeah, Blue Pig already kind of committed to that Widow entering on the site, won't be able to go back to the spawn switch right away. Oh, I was about to say we have maybe a disconnect, but that is one of the subs. May have had to leave, so may not be seeing him back.
Maj is just getting away with murder with these nades. Someone needs to pressure Maj, but Percy is so low in the backline. Do they get healed? They do. Percy barely survives. Blue Pig takes out Cheese, and this fight is just falling apart for Puerto Rico. I don't know. They have a Bastion Orisa, Bastion to form force. They do get Pug, so it's a 3v3, I believe. 4v4, actually.
Yeah, the Tracer are going to have a little bit of a hard time playing into that comp where you have those higher health DPS and you have the Cass. But Yoji's able to get the shield bash onto Orisa as she goes down, and that probably will be taken sight as Percy pushes even farther into their spawn.
Yeah, Yoji just straight up thug walking on Motley. No fear in his eyes, and this is just a point capture from UCF. Percy on the Doomfist getting so much value, and Maj is just able to hit nade after nade. Out here looking like Prime Shoe.
Yeah, and after a little bit of struggling, Pug able to pick up the pace a little bit, find some picks. Blue Pig with ult online now will be able to see the angles are coming from. Pooty Puerco immediately swips to Sombra, which I think is a great pick. You know, going to be able to bully that Widowmaker and bully that Doomfist, if there is a Doomfist. But Percy going to switch it up to the Junker Queen.
Yeah, my problem with this comp is there seems to be a anti-synergy with the Sombra. Your Sombra struggles now to stage a lot more compared to a Tracer or an Echo, for example. So playing that Sombra, you're leaving yourself open to getting picked off early, especially by a Widow with sights up. And we see Blue Pig pressuring Pooty Perico, but hits no shot. And Percy on the JQ Nano running in, amazing boot from Mega, but isn't enough to save from this Nano boost. And it looks like it is, but UCF has so much space now with Puerto Rico being forced in that small corner. They're pushing out, and Yoji is just 1v1ing the Cass in small room, and he loses.
A little questionable bit of a rally there at half health. No teammates really with him, but Blue Pig finding two, trying to keep it alive.
Blue Pig is just server admin at this point, uncontested, free firing. Just an amazing play from Blue Pig, able to stop the bleeding from UCF and win the fight. We're going to last fight for B. We see no changes. We have a beat window high noon coming from Puerto Rico with just the raw rampage from Percy on UCF side.
Yeah, but will they try to touch here? Gonna be a little bit risky and probably gonna give it up with their tanking so far back. And the pick from Pugs finds onto Pooty Puerco. A huge pick.
Yeah, but
they're gonna try to contest.
Trade one back with Cheese getting on Pug. Window forced. UCF has to back up or else their running risk of dying. Will Blue Pig make it out? Barely makes it out, but University of Puerto Rico is chasing. It seems like UCF is able to reset this fight. Going in with that Rampage, sights doesn't matter, and maybe Pulse Bomb. I think a big stick that can either force out Immo Field or just get a raw kill wins UCF the fight right now.
Yeah, that Widow going to be out now. Percy going to be able to see when they line up for a huge Rampage. Nothing going to be available to collect that.
Yeah, and this is a bad spot for UCF to be in. They're going to lose that poke fight against the Orisa and Cass. Percy barely makes it out with their life, and Blue Pig is just server admin once again. Somebody check their PC.
Yeah, for a moment there, I thought Percy might have gotten that Rampage blocked. Pug finishing up the circle for the team kill. If they do capture this point, 3 minutes 40 seconds on the final push. Now this push a little bit notorious for being something that's a little bit harder to capture sometimes.
Yeah, I think Widow definitely starts to struggle here, but if Puerto Rico isn't able to take as much space as they probably should with, Pooty going down is just terrible. Widow has free silence. We see a Diva switch, so probably more high ground contesting, especially against that Junker Queen comp. But UCF is just such in a good position. They're around that final corner. They're pushing it, and they're in striking distance of full capping with almost 3 minutes left.
Yeah, the D.Va switch now to try to take some high ground, contest that. Goldie blue pick a little bit on that Widow now. But Pug gonna take those off angles. Make sure that DPS passive is always active.
Yeah,
and it's chipping away.
We see Maj with the beam. If UCF gets a good beam off, it could be just wraps for University of Puerto Rico. Oh, and she goes down to the axe of Percy, and just it's all falling apart. UCF is just getting kill after kill, picking apart University of Puerto Rico one by one, and it's just too much for them to recover from. And UCF caps with 2 minutes 30 left and a rally to spare for Prosperity.
Yeah, big ult from the Sombra trying to make something happen with the EMP hitting 5, but at that point, just nothing they can do with their teammates being down. If they'd been able to get that EMP off a little bit earlier, may have turned the tides of that fight. But a strong push from UCF on that attack.
I think University of Puerto Rico is just really struggling to get their footing right now. They're unable to find what tank is going to work into the Queen of Percy, and it's just really detrimental to their old economy, especially, you know, with Motley just switching in between playing Mr. Heroes right now. And we see a pause coming in from University of Puerto Rico. Interesting.
Yeah, tac pause. I'm not sure if that means tactical pause or if they meant to say tech pause. So I'm not sure if this is an issue with their with some of the peripherals, or if they're taking a timeout. But we will have a brief break before we resume on Puerto Rico on the attack, UCF on the defense.
Yeah, I think University of Puerto Rico is gonna struggle against this Widow of Blue Pig if they're just not able to get a real good dive going. You know, Blue Pig, the CEO of the lobby, it looks like right now, is just uncontested and just free firing on the back line, getting kill after kill, and there's no one to contest him at the moment. Like, how does Puerto Rico respond to this?
Yeah, I mean, Puerto Rico now able on the attack will have a little bit more freedom to try to take some space and not have to give it up as easily. They have their backline to work with. They have the easier walk back from spawn. They're able to experiment a little bit more with their comp since they are closer to attack.
Yeah, and I think UCF's momentum is just burning red hot right now. Well, I guess burning gold and black, but UCF just seems to be just on top of it. They're coordinated. They're able to play well. They're backing up correctly, just kiting all these ultimates, knowing when to give and when to take space. It's just so efficient watching them play. It kind of puts my Diamond 1 support to shame.
But, you know, a little bit of the momentum being slowed down a little bit by the break we do have going on now.
Yeah. Good time to remind everybody that no matter how much talking anybody does while casting, you still got to drink water, those who know.
Yeah, I gotta make sure to hydrate. Not sure if I told this story before, but one time I forgot to drink water so bad to the point where I forgot how to speak. So drink your water.
Yeah.
Well, I basically forgot somehow to drink water for an entire day, and I took a nap because I had a headache. When I woke up and tried to talk to my roommate, I knew the words I wanted to say in my head. Those words would not come out, and that is scary and not something you want to go through. So hydrate. It's important.
Well said. Well said.
Hydrate
Yeah.
or dihydrate.
Yeah, we even got a production to get water. Remember to hydrate, kids. It's always good. You know, stalling abilities sometimes suck, and I mean, I don't know what else to really say here. It's just UCF is just on top of every aspect of the game right now, and University of Puerto Rico is just struggling so hard to respond.
I definitely think we will see a different comp come out from the defense of UCF. Definitely don't think they're going to try to opt for that Junker Queen comp, which is really like, it helps you get aggressive unless they want to try to pull someone in with the knife and have a maybe to follow up on that. I do think on the defense, maybe we see something more along the lines of maybe an Orisa, maybe a Ramatra. Who knows? Maybe we get the Reinhardt that we've been wanting, seeing on the defense.
Honorable and chivalrous. Spam the catchphrase. Spam would you like to see my muscles? Spam come here. Spam beer. Don't. Reinhardt mirror is what I want. This is my first time casting, and I want to cast a Ryan mirror. Give it to me, please, whenever the pause is over. Now. No.
Yeah, and hopefully not too long of a pause. We may have to take a brief intermission if it goes on for too long. We may take a brief intermission, but hopefully that tech. It seems like it's going to be a tech pause coming out where somebody was having an issue with their computer. So, if it ends up taking a little bit too long, then we will probably go to some kind of intermission.
Yeah. I know it's going to be very sad for the listeners who can't listen to my lovely voice during the intermission, but I think if we do end up going to intermission, a good time for everybody to stretch. You know, you can't be an amazing player like these 10 people in the lobby right now without stretching, without taking care of yourself. Remember, drink water, make sure you're feeling well, because Overwatch can be a lot sometimes. Keep that in mind. This playing at this high level is super stressful, and these players have such mental discipline to do it right now.
Yeah. But, paused, King's Row, quick 3-0 on the attack. Not much more you can say here as we are in this pause. But how do we feel about the Battle Pass? How are we liking this season's Mythic skin?
I can't say my opinions on the Widow skin because I don't like Widow, and I will say very mean things about Widow. But I, for one, am an Ana fanatic, and I want that Ana skin, but it's stuck behind 80 tiers of progress, and it's a grind to get to, but we're almost there. We're at 60, and that Ana skin is going to be mine.
Yeah, it's nice that those ones aren't locked, where you have to wait like 3 seasons after it's released to get it again if you didn't get it when it came out. So that's one thing that's nice about the Mythic skins, even though it is a little bit of a grind to get them.
Oh, seems like we're about to get back into the game, actually. Hold up, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. We are almost back. We are going in, and we have 4 seconds to see what the comps are, so we're going to be quiet for 4 seconds.
Yeah, gonna have an early attack. Maybe try to see a Widow come out on the attack. And yeah, like I said, we see the Ramatra defense gonna switch up a little bit more brawly here. Pug on that Genji that we did see earlier.
You know, we're seeing more of a Ramatra brawl going on right now from UCF. We're probably going to see them play at the choke with Pug and Percy controlling that left and right side with the core of Maj, DOG, Blue Pig playing on those high grounds. And never mind, I am wrong in a low elo player. They are playing high ground. They're going to try to take these off angles on the high ground and pressure University of Puerto Rico out. I'm interested to see what they're able to respond with.
Yeah, basically. Ooh, a Ramatra duel that we have at the last minute.
A Ramatra duel and the Reaper guy, exclamation point Reaper guy. How is Cheese going to approach into this Ashe? Reaper can just not take these 1v1s from range. How are they going to be able to rotate this Reaper into position to get massive damage on Percy?
Yeah, they do have the shield barrier to work with as they try to take the high ground and aggression there. Going to be a little bit hard, though. Going to be so much potential dynamite value coming in. If they do shield that off, try to push in Mega now, making sure his Reaper stays alive. Percy backing up, respecting the Bastion wheels form, and still holding it down. No pick for either side yet. Both teams just chipping away at each other, building up that ult. Zapier Coot, I will point out, already at half of his ult. Doing a lot of healing right now. Motley Main now pushing in a little bit, trying to take some space into there, and it does seem like Puerto Rico is winning the fight for space right now.
Yeah, Motley Main forcing out the back line, so much space created, but are they able to hold this? They're running out of resources. MO field forced. UCF could definitely re-engage on this. No MO field, and Percy on point, not a tick allowed. And does the BAP go down? BAP dies, but Percy dies as well. Cheese getting that kill. It's now a 4v4, but UCF has no tank. This is going to be tough for them to re-engage.
Yeah, it will be. We'll see if Pug tries to stall it a little bit. Does have Blade up if he wants to try to use it to make a miracle. As Blue Pig finds a pick on the Cheese, and he will put the Blade out. Finds one on the Pooty Puerco. Gonna find another maybe onto that BAP.
Yeah.
And will find it. Does go down, but not before fighting two. And UCF, by some miracle, able to make it happen.
Yeah, just like some energy drinks, Blue Pig cracks that right open, being able to be the catalyst for UCF to retake that point, only sacrificing 2 ticks. This is quite risky because the longer that UCF is forced out, the more likely they just cap point for free. So UCF has to commit now, which gives Puerto Rico a lot more breathing room.
Yeah, we'll have to commit, but they do have that bomb to contest point if they want to use it. Are coming up on that orbital as well. Mega already has it available though. They were able to focus. Yeah. Oh, but Mash already has it to respond. The Mash goes down. There will be no orbital for that defense.
Percy's health just goes from 800 to 100, and UCF is getting pushed on this high ground. Bob out by Blue Pig, but isn't enough. It's a 3v5. It's just Yoji, Pug, and Percy. With that Bastional being forced out, I don't think they touch. Bob off point. Yeah, this is looking at a point capture for University of Puerto Rico. We're going to point B now.
Haven't captured quite yet, though. Percy just stalling as long as he can with that block up. And, you know, because that stagger, we might see him. Actually, no, he has his annihilation. It'll have to be interesting to see if we see any comp switches here. Because that was a pretty quick take by Puerto Rico on the attack. That was pretty fast.
I don't like that ram ult by Motley Main. I think that was a one fight for the side of University of Puerto Rico. Using that ram ult, that's just really bad, and I think UCF is able to engage with their orbit, maybe use their own ram ult, and just can force out Motley's form and just run them over.
Yeah, only thing I have to be careful now is that Reaper ult, though. But you have to be wary. Kings Row, one of those places where there's so many great spots to teleport to get good positioning for a Reaper ult.
Yeah, but Pug is just a one-man Reaper ult, being able to kill Mega almost instantaneously. And then there's the Annihilation coming out from UCF, just trying to stabilize right now. And it's a one fight, yeah. Now UCF gets to hold on this really advantageous choke right now. And I don't know how University of Puerto Rico is going to take this. They have the Reaper ult and the BAP ult, which don't really work well together. I think a well-timed rally is able to stun Cheese right out of the Death Blossom.
Yeah, might be able to try to drop from the high ground a little bit to try to take an unexpected angle, but gonna be difficult for sure. Does have the Bastion though gonna come up, able to try to push maybe Blue Pig out of position, force into exhaust. And wow, lasered from Zapier Cute as Cheese finishes up the kill on the Pug.
Yeah, Pug just overstaying their welcome. 2 players looking at you is just not a good place to be on Genji. And now Maj getting forced out. Yoji forced to scramble to help his Juno. And 4v5, and Maj goes down. Can UCF stabilize? I don't know. The point is so close. I think Yoji or Percy has to touch. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yoji
I think this
goes
point
down.
will be taken. Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. UCF has to go third. We're coming into third point with about 3 minutes left. So University of Puerto Rico can't cap the same time as UCF, but it's going to be very close, especially with this old economy coming up with the Juno Laser, Baffled, Reaper Beyblade, and the Annihilation. That was a lot.
I do like this point, the positioning here for Ash. Ash can have some great spaces to set up on the high ground, which will really only be able to contest it by the Reaper, by the Baptiste to try to push her off. Orbital to engage. A huge torpedo is getting so much value, and just an ult domino now. Everything coming out from both teams.
Unfortunately for UCF, Cheese just lets it rip in the back line. It kills Maj and does so much damage that University of Puerto Rico is able to clean up. Now UCF is going into final fight with just Bob and against the Ramatra ult, which, in my opinion, I think Ram ult beats Bob. But now we have the Echo swap from Pug. I want to see how they are able to kite this Annihilation. But Maj goes down. No heals coming from UCF besides that brick cookie, and this is going to be really tough for Yoshi to play.
Oh, but a big pick on Zapier Coot makes us a little bit easier as Percy's building up his own annihilation.
Yeah. Oh,
Blue
once
Pig
again,
stabilizing both supports down.
Blue Pig is just lobby admin right now. Like, they are able to kill Blue Pig, but not after he kills their backline. University of Puerto Rico is no supports, and Maj is coming off the spawn, and so is Blue Pig, and University of Puerto Rico just have to back out, and they're not getting staggered. This is gonna be a tough loss for University of Puerto Rico, getting such a nice pick at the beginning, and then just having Blue Pig being that guy and killing your backline. It's really tough.
And now no ults even close for the side of Puerto Rico. So gonna have to try to take this fight a little bit slowly, build it up for one last push. With only a minute on the clock, they will really realistically only have one opportunity to build up ults now.
If I'm University of Puerto Rico, I think you take this fight fast, but not that fast as Mega's already back in spawn, but they pick up Maj, so it's an even fight, but this favors the defenders, giving defenders spawn. I think University of Puerto Rico just needs to build ult, but Pug goes down. This is a 3v4 right now, and their Juno's coming off the spawn right now. So
yeah, but Pug gonna have that clone ready as soon as she comes back. We'll have a lot of stall potential.
Maj is 1 HP. Cheese being on that Reaper guy using the 2 revolvers that take 3 to 4 shots to kill someone is almost killing Maj, but Pooty Perico just takes out 2, and the Annihilation Force from Percy. It's a 3v4. Cheese once again in the backline has the spin move, but Blue Pig is just killing it. Speaking of killing, Percy kills 2, but Mega's able to pick up that kill, but I think it's a lost fight for University of Puerto Rico, and it might be a stall and a scramble coming out right now.
Yeah. Ooh, and with Motley Man going down there, will have to be a stall. Going to be difficult. 3 ults coming online, actually 4. Have the orbital ray ready, have the annihilation. Could be deadly if they're able to actually all get on point together, but it's going to be tough. Pug now trying to find the Reaper duplication ult. If he's able to get that ult online, that could be deadly. And yeah,
the Bastion goes down.
A solo ult the tank. Good shield, but stalls him.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Reaper guy, who's very good and fun to play as, is not very good. And it's just a nice stabilization from UCF, holding for 3 minutes on third. University of Puerto Rico had a phenomenal attack the first 2 points, and they just could not break that 3rd point choke. And Blue Pig with play of the game being server admin. Let's see him absolute aim hack on the lobby right now. Just, such close shots. Like, as a Widow player, that is so hard to do with the Orisa and the Sombra who can just kill you instantaneously. Having that temperance to not freak out in that situation is really showing how good of a player Blue Pig is.
You know, Blue Pig is just able to hit those shots so consistently on that Widow. That's why he's kind of the designated hit scan player for UCF as they take the second map on Kings Road 3-2. This will be a series point now. If UCF wins this next map, they will take the win for the best of 5. So gonna have to see a reverse sweep from Puerto Rico if they want to try to take this back as we look to see what the next map's going to be. Maybe a push map? I'm not sure what the next game mode is going to be for this set, the series.
If I'm University of Puerto Rico, I know 2 things right now. 1, do not take them to a map that favors the ball dive. And 2, do not take them to a Widow map. Force these up-close engagements. Use your superior RAM comp that we've seen on Ilios Lighthouse to be able to force UCF, in particular Maj, into uncomfortable spots where they can't get value from missiles or nade, depending on what they go. And just being able to... it seems like we're going push with a ban on Esperanza, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, unfortunately for them, it does seem like this is going to be a push map. All push maps kind of being a map that ball is kind of favored on.
Yeah, so no Esperanza. That leaves... I don't remember the maps. New Queen Street, Coliseo, and Runasapi. If I'm University of Puerto Rico, honestly, none of these 3 maps are good for you.
No.
Each of them can favor a Widow. They can favor a ball. But if I had to pick one, I'm going Runasapi. I think you get the most mileage out of that Ramatra comp.
Runasapi, just you have the super long Widow angles. It can be so tough to deal with. I was going to say I think maybe we see um maybe Coliseum come out potentially, because you have those widow angles, but it's a little easier to kind of punish them. Runasapi just has like that middle fight. You just have those entire sight lines for Widow to aim down. But we'll see. We'll see what map they decide to go with here. Is I do think the Esperanza was a good ban.
Yeah, just I think blocking that really ball-centered dive, kind of limiting the opportunities that Percy can just steamroll the lobby, as we saw in Ilios Ruin Lighthouse. I mean, I it's really between you just the only map that Puerto Rico definitely does not want to take UCF to is that Coliseo, where Widow can just get so much value, as we've seen Blue Pig being able to just lock it the absolute heck in and just kill everybody. And we see Runasapi. I was right. You were wrong.
Yeah, Runasapi being picked from Puerto Rico.
And we have a pause from UCF, actually. We lied. Yeah. Time to stall.
Brief pause in between maps. Pretty standard. Like to take a break for the players to get some water. Do something in between their matches.
H2O. Remember to drink it.
Yep. Now, Runasapi, the newest map in Overwatch 2. So both teams maybe going to be a little bit less familiar with that. And
yeah, I think that they're going to play this Ramatra comp, the Ramatra Rush, and we're just going to see them try to take these short angles that Runasapi is able to provide going on the little buildings around the center point, just being able to try to run on the back line of UCF and force Maj, force Yoji to be in uncomfortable positions where they're able to either pick off the front line or just annihilate the back line. That is definitely what I think the win condition for Puerto Rico is right now.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see the Ashe come out from Blue Peg rather than the Widow on this map, just because it can be so easy to punish Widowmaker. Ashe has a little bit more sustainability, a little bit better for like that kind of mid to long range, rather than Widow, who struggles a little bit more when people get closer, where Ashe kind of has a little bit more material to get herself away from those approaches.
Yeah, and I think one player, or at least one role that we haven't really been able to talk about, just given how sort of dominant Percy and Blue Pig have been, is the backline of UCF. Maj is just able to take the space that Percy and Blue Pig and Pug are creating and use it so well to get the most value out of the anti-nades, the micro missiles. And then Yoji's just able to be where he needs to be at the right time. No matter how chaotic a fight is, we just see this consistency from Yoji, able to really match the freak from the DPS line, with Pug just being the CEO of in your backline at this point, honestly.
Yeah, Yoshi not really making any huge plays, but remaining consistently good throughout, just sustaining his team, and that's just equally as important as big plays are, is being consistent, able to sustain your team to make those big plays. Just remaining consistently outputting that healing just so constantly. Maj, like you said, using his cooldowns to get the maximum value he can. Torpedoes hitting multiple people. The anti is getting so much value. Really enabling Pug to get in their backline, enabling Blue Pig to finish off those kills with this hit scan, enabling Percy to take some space to help with Pug. I mean, there's just so much synergy that you've seen going on from UCF, and you can see how clearly that affects their team comp.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing a lot of indecision coming out from Motley Main, just not being able to understand what tank needs to be played. And it is really tough against this Widow, who is just eating up your backline for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and for snacks. Even I wouldn't know what to play. I think at the end of the day, Motley Main needs to just stick on one tank and just hope for the best, hopes and prayers.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Cheese on the Reaper again on this map. But we'll see what he opts to switch to. Pooty Puerco pretty comfortable on that Sombra. Seems his favorite is the Sombra and the Bastion. We'll see what the kind of comp they go through here on Runasapi, though. Runasapi, by far, the most open map out of any of the ones they've played so far.
Yeah, but you can Runasapi. It's only from certain angles that you see Runasapi being as open. If you attack the map from a more horizontal perspective, it is very enclosed in very close quarters. So if Puerto Rico is able to take these fights, and I would assume they're going to play that rush in a more horizontal method, playing on the edges of the map where they don't have to really contend with those long sight lines, I think they have a really good chance of being able to just not let Blue Pig run the lobby again.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for them is going to be don't make sure to not let him take those off angles, because there are some deadly off angles on the set that you can take, and if you don't punish him on that, he is going to make you regret it.
Yeah, now we see UCF asking for a ready, so I think we're about to go into the game. We're waiting for University of Puerto Rico to just be ready. Yep, here we go. University of Puerto Rico University of Central Florida Academy is on match point against University of Puerto Rico. This is do or die right now for Puerto Rico.
Yeah, both teams wanting to win this match a lot for different reasons. Puerto Rico wanting to stay in the game, UCF wanting to take this to put them at a 4-2 record. I mean, now we have just the scenic route as we wait for the teams to roll out with their comps.
Such a beautiful map. I think this is probably one of the best maps in Overwatch 2 that's been added. Just so much vibrance. It's just pretty to look at. That's probably why I get asked to stop throwing on this map, because I'm just looking at the scenery. But some people who cannot be looking at the scenery is University of Puerto Rico, as they are walking out on a, looks like they're going to be playing a dive comp. We have yet to see what the tank's playing, but this core of Ana, Cass, Brig tells me that we're going to see a Winston coming out.
Yeah, Blue Pig on that Cass and Pug on a signature Genji, Percy rolling out with the Junker Queen. And yeah, gonna be pretty brawly. Both teams going for the Genji now. Both teams with the Cass as well. Really similar comps, honestly.
I want to point out one thing. We're seeing UCF run the Brig Juno compared to University of Puerto Rico on a Brig. Which is a very big difference.
And I do think that anti could work pretty well against the Junker Queen to stop her from getting healing, stop that self-healing, make her go down a little bit quicker, and we'll just have to see if that works out for them and if they have to make any adjustments because of that.
Yeah, we're going to this first fight. Like I said, University of Puerto Rico is playing from the horizontal angle, trying not to let Blue Pig get as many sight lines, but Blue Pig is on Cassidy, and Percy just takes out Pooty, and it's already over. 2 down for the side of University of Puerto Rico, and UCF is just cleaning up and gets first control on the bot. A little bit of, I think that was a little bit of tactical crouching from Percy.
Yeah, his keyboard broke a little bit, but that's okay, because wow, that was just about as quick as a fight you can go. Motley Main immediately switching to Orisa.
Yeah, I don't think I like the Orisa pick here. I think especially against this Genji, how we are seeing Pug playing this kind of just always in your back line, all or nothing Genji. I think Orisa is just too slow to properly deal with it right now. However, Pug is being forced out, but Blue Pig owning the lobby once more. Someone find this guy's lease and tell him that he needs to stop, because this is just brutal.
Yeah, Yoshi cleaning up the kill with a nice whip shot, hitting Monty Mains. First he takes down with her axe, and I mean, they're just pushing into their spawn now. This Runasabi map looking completely dominant. Yeah, as UCF building up all kinds of ults with no response from Puerto Rico. They're gonna have to make something happen here, but the bad thing about push is when they take that big of a lead, that just makes so many more fights you have to get win just to take it back to the middle, let alone push it your own.
Yeah, almost 100 meters to 0 now. We have the JQ ult coming up first. Are we going to see an early Queen ult, or UCF is just going to give space? They want to take this more advantageous position on the high ground, let Puerto Rico fight from low ground. This is a really smart play coming out from UCF right now.
Yeah, they don't need to push it for the win all the way right now. We do see the combo come out. Percy, wow.
Yeah, the Blade Rampage, that's just so much damage coming out. Even with that ammo field, it's just, you can't heal through that. It's way too much, and Universe Puerto Rico is just getting overwhelmed right now. We have the Juno ult and the High Noon coming up online, and we only have that High Noon from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puri Puerco is going to have to try to find some positioning to get the High Noon off, and he's going to try, but doesn't find anything. His person takes him down. And
yeah, 3 meters to go, 1 meter to go. Do they touch? They don't touch. And it is just such an easy map for University of Central Florida Academy, making it look like little Timmy's on the enemy team. It's just a complete and utter collapse from University of Puerto Rico. And I think they need to go back to the lab and figure out what went wrong, because I think they were playing very well until this map where they just got rolled.
Yeah, not comfortable on this map, apparently. Maybe trying to pick it just to make something happen. Try to work something out, but Runa Sapi definitely being their weak point. I mean, not a single fight won there, kind of steamrolled from UCF. And, you know, so some of those push maps, just teams trying to be a little bit more experimental with trying to make something happen. And I respect the effort from Puerto Rico for trying it, but weren't able to make it work. Clearly not something in their comfort zone here.
Yeah,
and that does put UCF at a 4-2 record now in the NECC East B Overwatch Division 3.
Yeah, UCF just on fire. You know, Blue Pig absolutely auto-logging on heads right now. Pug able to create so much space by these off angles, and Percy on the Junker Queen just commanding so much attention that University of Puerto Rico just doesn't know where to look. And when you just have that much space, it allows your backline to basically play wherever they want and do anything. And there's just no pressure, and it just falls apart.
Yeah. But that does conclude tonight's matches. UCF taking the best of 5 series next week, round 7, the final round of at least the main division, or the main round robin, is against Georgia Tech White, November 8th at 20 o'clock. That's 8 p.m. EST, I believe.
Yes, it is.
But we will have that match against Georgia Tech White, which is, they are the two teams competing kind of for that number 3 slot. So next week going to be also a very important match between those two teams. But UCF closing it out over University of Puerto Rico this week, and great job to everybody on UCF Academy team.
Yeah, it was definitely a game. I think that third round just kind of sums everything up, how sometimes these tournaments can go when you're down in the hole. I'm excited to see UCF go for, I believe, their 4th win in a row next week. And, you know, if they're able to get this win, that puts them at 5-2, and it puts them in a very good position coming up in this tournament. Yeah,
really good position indeed. To try to work their way up the standings. Gonna be difficult because both teams in the higher positions do have 5 wins each, so UCF gonna be vital for them to win next week's match. But a great start, getting that momentum 3 games in a row